Why running?
Running is an expression of me and who I am. It's really helped me sort of cope with the stresses and strains of being diagnosed with autism, high functioning. For neurodiverse individuals, that's incredibly difficult. And basically, even when we sleep, our head's constantly racing right until the last minute of going to sleep. So for me, running is the only time that happens when my brain switches off and basically just focuses on the running. It's something that I found really helps me ever since I was younger, and it's something I've been doing for many years. And it's something that I've become incredibly passionate about. I think it's something that, everybody can do. Human beings are essentially born to run. That's why one of the major reasons why we're dominant on the planet is our ability to be able to run long distances. Basically, it expresses who I am, being able to, again, encourage people, to get into the world of running. And that being said, I feel like running away.
You don't need anything, do you?
Yeah, you just ask me the question again and then it gives me a prompt.
Yes, so if you can start by your name.
So my name is Ben, and the purpose of this video is to bring attention to how running can be used as a form of medication, essentially, for a number of things. Firstly, stress relief. I've been diagnosed with autism, high functioning, as an adult, and it's really helped me sort of cope with the stresses and strains of being diagnosed with that. And it was at that point I found this information out during one of the most stressful times that the world has ever seen, during COVID. Basically, I used running as an outlet, and it's something I've been doing for many years.
How has it helped you running with succeeding in parts of your life?
So I grew up in a Lancashire town of Fleetwood, and basically I'm from a very large family, and sort of that neck of the woods, basically it was very difficult for me personally to make friends and to be able to sort of understand how people are around that area. It was something a bit of a challenge for me. Basically, I got bullied a lot through, infant school, junior school, high school, even in my military career. It's always been a problem for me. And now, fairly recently, in the last few years, I now understand as to why it was a problem.
So Ben, I remember you touching upon your military experiences yesterday in the interview. Do you want to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, so many years ago, I was in the military. I served in the Royal Air Force. Before I got my diagnosis, my running helped with being in the military for a number of reasons. Quite often I would have quite a lot of bad days because sometimes people wouldn't get me and I wouldn't get their humour. My running, again, was always there for me, If I had a really bad day, I'd go for a run, 3 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles. That was all that mattered to me. I went from sprinting, moved into longer distances, and basically I started doing things like 5Ks, 10Ks, things like that, and then started doing half marathons. Then I started building up from half marathons to full marathons and marathons to ultra marathons. Yeah, I kind of found that running sort of longer distances is more therapeutic for me now that I'm a bit older, and I used to get on the track, and the track doesn't judge you, the people around you in the running community don't judge you. As long as you're there, that's all that matters. Sort of been in races fairly recently, the last few years, where there's ex-drug addicts, ex-alcoholics, people with mental health issues. The fact that they're using running as a form of medication to actually get through the barriers and the hurdles that they've had to overcome in their life is one of the reasons why I fell in love with the sport. To do the London Marathon, my goal and aim is, if I can do sub 4 hours, it would mean that I'd be in the top 42% of the country. However, I understand that I'm now in my late 40s and that when I last did the London Marathon back in 1999, I was 19 years old, having just about to go into the Royal Air Force. Training for a very big marathon in April at the moment. It's kind of interesting at the moment. I'm not exactly at full fitness because this time last year I was very ill in hospital and I'm in the process of getting back to my running weight. 10k last one I did in summer, it took me just over an hour because again I'm recovering. But then I made a big mistake. I then got asked, did I want to do the half marathon? And considering the fact that I was okay with the 5 and 10Ks, I stupidly said yes. Did the half marathon and basically got halfway around and the sun came out and I had no water on me. My muscles started cramping and basically I ended up going into what I like to call safe mode and managed to just about complete the half marathon, but ended up collapsing at the end line.
Any apprehensions and any more worries about it?
Worries? Obviously, illness and injury is a big thing. This time last year, I was in hospital. I wasn't very well at all, and I put on quite a bit of weight. Those people that know me know how I feel about that perspective. That's always a big worry. For stillness, calm, peace. I've got to get my breathing right. Ensuring sharpness of mind is just as important as sharpness of body. It allows me to focus on my breath, my run, and focus on expressing who I am in relation to my running. There is the ability to be able to be left alone in peace and tranquility with the water in the background. That really helps focus my thoughts. Runners often forget that working on the body is one thing. They don't do enough work on the mind. Long distance running, especially anything over a marathon, can really play with your mind. There'll be times where you'll go through a patch and you'll be feeling amazing, and then there'll be times when you go through a patch and you think, why am I doing this? And it's at that point where the focus of your breathing and stillness allows you to pick yourself up and run through that bad patch and be mindful that while you are running, be mindful of how it's helping you. And autism can be a disability if you let it, yeah? Whereas for me, I use it as to enhance my ability, especially when it comes to my running. You know, like I said, I just switch off, focus, and I hyper focus, and that for me is really important. A lot of confusion about people on the spectrum that A, we can't do things, and B, that we aren't empathetic. And we show our empathy through our actions. It's the same principle here with my running. You know, you tell a neurotypical person you can't do something, they'll just brush it off. For a neurodiverse individual, we'll get really upset about it, you know, and therefore we'll go out, not only do it, we'll do it to the point of where it's like you'll exceed your expectations. It's ability, not disability.
Today's the last day of this filming. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of apprehensive, but at the same time excited of the prospect of doing the marathon ahead. It's something that I've been training for you know, a good several weeks now at least. And things are starting to improve now, I've noticed, with my overall fitness. And I'm starting to do a lot more longer runs. But overall, yeah, I'm feeling good.
What is the future for you? What is the outcome for this video and for you?
Outcome of this video for the future, for me personally, I'm wanting to do bigger runs now to a certain extent, you know, but there are some really big marathons that I really want to have a crack at. One of the things that I'm really passionate about is helping military veterans, no matter what they served in, whether it was Royal Air Force, Royal Navy, British Army, you know, Special Forces, it doesn't matter, you know, helping them and giving back through my running is a great way of, you know, supporting military veterans as a whole.
This minute, any last kind of words you want to leave it on before essentially the end of it?
Yeah, so one thing I would say is for all those people out in the autism community, you know, running is a really good way of using that energy that you have inside you to be able to focus it, and also be able to, you know, when you're having a bad day, go out there and getting out there in the fresh air. And if you keep going out there day after day and maintaining that continuity of going running, you'll be surprised on how much it really affects you in a positive way. You know, go out there, maintain your running, maintain your health, and be part of the running community. We'll accept you no matter what your background. Hello, good morning. Well, this is day one of my diary. Basically, I've got to deal with a lot of change, and for those who are neurodiverse will know change is not great. This morning is a Sunday, and basically I'm about to go and do a nice long run. I've come out to Fairhaven Lake to do a session. I have been training for a couple of weeks now. This morning I'm going straight into the gym. I've been to the gym twice this week, but again it's building up that distance, building up that range. I'm hoping to spend at least a good hour, if not 90 minutes, to do a training session for the London Marathon. I've actually lost a little bit of weight again this morning, which is great. So it's been a bit of a challenge. However, you know, every cloud has a silver lining. I've now gone from barely being able to run 3k to now running 8k on a regular basis. So it allows you to be able to somewhat fight off the ability to not wanting to stop. It's now 13 weeks roughly to the London Marathon. It's pretty cold this morning, I'd say, and yeah, basically off we go. And now I'm really focused and feel good. We often feel like we are running away from a lot of things in life because of oversensitization and everything that goes on around us, and that basically we're always trying to walk away from high sensitivity, things like sound, smell, sight and things like that. So running is one of those things that we can use. To actually control our autism rather than our autism controlling us.